I really didn't have any experience to go get another job.
2 kids and no way to support them.
Right. I had to make money, good money, fast.
Good evening. I'm John Stossel.
And I'm Elizabeth Vargas.
And this is 2020.
No experience needed, no college degree, but these working women make up to $2,000 a night.
You want to look at the guy who probably doesn't get that much love or affection, and then you try to fulfill that need.
Revelations from a former Marine, a college student, and a single mom. Women who dance. $1 million smile. Do you have to spend a fortune to get it? Our volunteers tried the most popular teeth whiteners. Which one rated best? Gel, paint, or strips? We'll tell you.
I always like to hear somebody say, "Oh, your teeth look nice."
The proof is in a whiter shade of pale. Plus, her husband's done his time in Iraq, and she wants him out.
I just miss him so much.
But the U.S. says it needs every soldier it can get. So why doesn't Uncle Sam want them?
It makes me so mad.
I'm John Stossel, and I say, give me a break.
Those stories, tonight on 2020. From ABC News headquarters in New York, John Stossel and Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening, and welcome to 2020. They are women trying to make it on their own, doing a job that earns them much more than they could make at other jobs, sometimes $2,000 a day. But it also makes them objects of derision. Tonight, we will take you behind the scenes of strip clubs and introduce you to women who lap dance and pole dance to make ends meet. There's much more to their story than meets the eye.
John, I'd never been to a strip club before doing this story, and it was truly an eye-opening experience. It is also very big business. There are nearly 3,000 so-called gentlemen's clubs in this country, and almost 300,000 women in the country work as erotic dancers. You will meet some of them now and hear in their own words why they do it, how they do it, and even some tricks of the trade.
Fingerprint on him?
Here we go now. So get on up, let's do this thing.
Well, gentlemen, put them together nice and loud out there.
Let's do this thing.
Awesome.
Let's get down to business, huh?
For the mostly male customers, it is an adult playground where libido and fantasy run free.
I'm guessing they're thinking about how hot we are. I don't know. I really don't want to know.
I don't think they can think about anything.
For critics, it is a depraved wasteland where women are written off as immoral lost souls.
A lot of people think that dancers are all either sexually abused as kids, or there's something wrong with them, or they're partying all the time, or they're prostitutes, or they're drunk every night.
But for the thousands of women taking their clothes off for a living in cities across America, it is a job.
It's a real job. A real job pays real money. And I'm able to provide for myself, my family, my children.
And the women who work it will tell you it is also one of the toughest sales jobs on earth.
This is not a job that you want for that long because it's really draining. Ultimately, it's just really draining.
Yeah. It's hard work. It's really, really hard work.
It is really hard work.
You said it's an 8-year life span, you
I think you can dance for 8 years and retire. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there aren't girls that make it a career. Okay? I say dancing's not a career. Some of the entertainers think it is.
America's strippers dance atop an ever-growing multi-billion-dollar industry. But as we listen to them talk about competing against other women...
Is there camaraderie back there among all the dancers? No?
No.
And avoiding abuse and exploitation.
Some guys suck.
Some guys are cheap.
Some guys can be rude.
You're railed on by other girls. You're railed on by the management, you know, because you always feel like you could be doing more. There's a lot of stress and pressure.
We realized their stories are echoed not just by other dancers, but by women throughout the workforce. But getting to hear their stories was not easy. Let's be honest, this is not a job many women want to brag about.
My parents weren't very delighted, so to say.
What was their reaction?
My mom cried.
Butterfly asked us to use her dancer name. She was 22 and a recently divorced mother of 2 when she made her decision to try stripping.
I was never allowed to work while I was in my relationship, so I really didn't have any experience to go get another job.
2 kids and no way to support them.
Right. I had to make money, good money, fast.
What time do you normally go to work?
I usually go to work or leave the house at 9.
9 o'clock at night?
Yes.
So you spend the whole day being...
Mom.
Getting the kids fed, some of them off to school, playing with your toddler?
I take naps when she does.
I work at night. My son's in bed by the time I come to work. I'm home when he wakes up.
Nicole, another working mom, started out in the military.
Well, I did 8 years in the Marine Corps, and I got out and I got scouted for Penthouse, and I became a Penthouse pet. And then I started feature dancing. And
Rachel wants to become a chef.
Saving up for culinary school, 38 grand. I'm almost there. I was saying earlier, I'm almost there.
Stephanie is a college student in the Midwest.
I'm getting a degree in fine arts. This is, for better or worse, probably the best paying job I'll ever have.
Dawn pays her way through school in Salt Lake City by dancing weekends in Las Vegas.
I'll fly in Friday after school, and then I'll fly home Sunday or Monday and go back to school.
Differing paths to the same career choice, but once made, almost none of them had any idea what they were supposed to do.
I'd stand against the wall and I didn't want nobody to look at me, and I didn't want to say anything to anybody. Very, very scared. So I didn't know what was expected of me.
Now, do you have to have a basic knowledge of dancing in order to get this job? I mean, don't you?
Oh, no. You should see me dance. I'm awful.
Basically, nobody took you under their wing and said,
No.
Here's what happens. Here's how to survive, and maybe here's how to make a lot of money.
No. I had to figure it out on my own.
What Gia, Butterfly, and the others figured out is that the job is more complicated than just dancing topless around a pole.
It's advertisement for my customers. They see what they like. If I make a good show, then I get a lot more dances.
To make real money, you have to work the room, chat up the customers, and convince them to pay you for a private dance or just for your time and attention. A one-on-one dance or a lap dance on the main floor costs $15 to $20 a song.
What helped me get over the embarrassment was the fact that block it out, and I would just pretend like in my head like I was, going through sex acts. I believe that you're either born with it or you're not.
Butterfly works at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in Las Vegas, the largest strip club in the country, and one of only 3 we contacted that would let us shoot inside. Owners Dolores Elianis and Peter Feinstein told us what they're looking for in a dancer.
The primary thing, to be honest with you, that we look for is an entertainer that is attractive and socially capable of carrying on conversation with men, somebody who feels comfortable in this type of setting.
And the setting can be intimidating. After watching dancers give lap dances, we could guess what the customer was thinking, but we wondered what goes through the dancer's mind while she gives such an intimate dance to a complete stranger.
Number one, I am thinking about how I can move my body to please them and make their fantasy come true. My second thought is, how much money can I get out of this person? I'm sorry, but this is my job and that's what I am here for.
The most successful dancers, like Trina at the Hustler Club in San Francisco, combine the physical confidence of a runway model with the verbal skills of a used car salesman.
I'm Trina.
Trina, hi, I'm Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's a wonderful show, isn't it?
Where are you from?
I'm from Israel.
Ooh, nice pants. You put on your naughty pants to come out and play, huh?
When I go to a customer, I'll talk to them, I'll get comfortable with them, ask them personal questions, just try and break the ice any way possible. And then I would say, so are you ready? And just kind of move into it. If they're not, they'll let you know.
I don't think you make a lot of money by pretending to be stupid or pretending to be smarter than you are or trying to fake a connection with someone. I really think it's all about the individual.
No, actually, I treat them all the same. They're all called Big Daddy. It gets me upstairs every time.
Upstairs refers to the VIP section of the club, sometimes called the champagne room, the financial promised land for dancers. Here, the customer pays for the dancer's time, $100 to $300 per half hour. Add in the mandatory overpriced cocktails or bottle of champagne and things get expensive fast. Zeroing in on a customer with money is the first challenge.
You look at the shoes and the watch.
You look for
always
the
look
fat
at the
ones.
shoes and the watch.
Kind of glasses they're wearing, kind of suits they're wearing.
Next, you need to find a customer willing to pay for time in the champagne room, and that involves some psychological profiling.
Honestly, you look for the vulnerable ones. The really cute guy, the cocky guy. We talk to them last, their last pick. So you want to look at the guy who probably doesn't get that much love or affection or whatever, and then you try to fulfill that need. You know, you try to make them feel better about themselves, smarter, stronger, whatever, and then you're compensated for that.
And that compensation is earned, whether the customer wants lap dances or just a pretty girl to sit and talk with him. What they call in the strip clubs GFE, or girlfriend experience.
They want to find out who you are and tell them about like their, you know, their wife left them or whatever.
The big money customers, they want to come in and spend time with a beautiful girl. And they want to get to know her. They want to
Eric Langen is the president and CEO of Rick's Cabaret, a publicly traded company that owns gentlemen's clubs in cities across the U.S.
They want the fantasy to think that, you know, oh, gee, this girl really likes me. You know, they know it's a lie because they're, you know, it's like, oh, here's, lie to me some more, you know. Maybe they're looking for love. I don't know what they're looking for, but they can come into the club, they can get to know the girl, and anytime they want to get up and leave, they can get up and leave.
They also don't have to work as hard. I mean, if you pay the girl, she'll sit and talk and be charming.
Oh, absolutely. Tell you everything you want to hear.
A lot of times we're like psychiatrists.
What do you mean?
Listening to people's problems over and over again. People will pay you just to sit there and listen to you.
People will pay just to talk.
Oh, yes. Which I don't mind. I mean, actually, that's nice. I mean, I don't mind listening to people's problems.
What kinds of things do they talk to you about? What kinds of problems do they unload?
Family things.
Really?
The wife at home, the kids. We talk about a lot of things.
How much time do you give a customer before moving on, or
if they're not paying you?
If they're not paying you.
2 songs.
Many clubs have even more exclusive areas, often completely private rooms or booths. This will cost you as much as $500 an hour. And if it all sounds incredibly lucrative, it can be.
Give me an example of what a good night is financially for you.
A good night financially is around $2 grand.
$2,000 a night?
Yeah. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
How many, do you have a lot of those nights?
I wish there were a lot more.
And in some cities, the bad nights can far outweigh the good.
There are very few amazing days, and there are a lot of days where I feel like I've done all right.
When we come back, we go inside the private rooms.
This is really dark in here.
To shed light on the real economics of a modern American strip club. And we travel to San Francisco, where that city's top cop is concerned that the pressure to make money may be forcing some women to sell not just a sexual fantasy, but sex.
The business arrangement is such that they are pressured into engaging in prostitution because otherwise they can't profit from their work.
When 2020 continues.
2020 continues. Once again, Elizabeth Vargas.
We continue now behind the scenes of America's strip clubs. It is a hugely profitable business built on the backs and the bodies of the women who dance for a living. An estimated 1 million customers visit strip clubs every day, making it a $10 billion industry. But how much of that money goes to the main attraction, the women? If you're looking for a lesson about capitalism, forget Wall Street. Head down to the neon-lit street of your local strip club. It will not take you long to learn the first rule of American business.
Make money. Yeah, money. Actually, make as much money as quick as possible.
The max amount of money in the shortest amount of time.
And just like on Wall Street, it is fiercely competitive, with dancers chasing after the same customers and their money. I mean, are there rules of etiquette?
Well, number one, if you're sitting with a customer, another girl should not walk up and talk to the person that you're talking to. If you're dancing at a stage, don't go to the guy that's sitting around the stage. She's taking money out of my baby's mouth. Plain and simple.
Butterfly works in Las Vegas, where the steady stream of tourists makes it relatively easy for her to support her family. But in the rest of the country, making a decent living as a stripper is no sure thing. Most dancers do not get paid by the club. Instead, they're labeled independent contractors. They earn their money from stage tips, selling one-on-one lap dances, or convincing customers to buy time in a VIP room.
You want to go play?
Sure. Where are we going?
The amount of money that you make is totally up to you, and
Yeah, every night I come in, I just make a goal. I say, okay, tonight I'm gonna make $2 grand. Then I break that down into how many lap dances or how many VIP I need to do, and I just focus on that.
But most dancers make much less, sometimes even going home with less money than they started out with. Dolores Eliades and Peter Feinstein are owners of the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in Las Vegas.
It's possible that she could lose money working.
And how could you lose money working? The surprising answer is that dancers not only do not get paid any salary, they actually pay the club what is called a stage or house fee, anywhere from $75 to $250 a shift, just for being allowed to work. And if a woman came in and paid $100 for her shift and then did no business or only did $75 worth of business, does she then leave with a deficit? Does she lose money working?
It's possible. It depends on the evening. It depends on what her sales skills are. It depends on the mood that she's in that night. Depends on being lucky and unlucky, just the way it would be for any other salesperson.
Stephanie and Jennifer work in Chicago.
There have been like certain days where you don't make your money back and they don't care. There's no compensation or anything, and you just have to suck it up and hope that, you know, the next day is better.
And it's not just the stage fee that dancers pay. Most of these so-called independent contractors must tip out at the end of their shift. That means paying money to the other people working at the club.
Okay, so when your shift is over, do you have to tip people?
Bouncers.
How are you tonight?
The DJ.
Gotta cancel on Brule, Monique.
The maitre d's in the VIP rooms.
At the end of the night, total, how much are you giving out in tips to other people?
Oh, it could be like $150.
$150 in tips?
Yeah.
On top of all that, the dancers get none of the protections or benefits like workman's comp or health care that's offered to everybody else working in the club.
Does that bother you?
Bothers me greatly.
So you're paying the club
Right.
to work, and then you're paying all the other employees in the club, by the way, who are all getting
And
benefits.
your ballet that brings your card to you.
Eric Langen's company, Rick's Cabaret, operates clubs in 4 states.
The busboy is getting a wage and benefits, and the dancers are the people they're coming to see, and they're not getting a wage and they're not getting benefits. In fact,
Well,
they're paying to go to work.
Right. Well,
It
but they're
seems
making.
backwards.
Well, does it? The busboy goes home with $200 a week or $300 a week, and the dancer goes home with $3,000 to $6,000.
So what will you say to a dancer who isn't cutting it, isn't making enough money?
I try to encourage her to, you know, I call it broaden your career horizon a little bit. Find something that you're good at, something that, you know, because this isn't it for you.
But San Francisco District Attorney Kamala Harris says it's not as simple as go find another job.
And what worker in whatever field wants to go into the job every day and walk away having not earned a penny because of the fee they have to pay to be in the workplace?
Harris is concerned that when women can't make enough money as professional dancers to pay the fees, they become susceptible to being coerced into the oldest profession in the world.
So they engage in activity that pays more money.
Prostitution.
Which may be having sex, actually literally having sex.
Dancers are supposed to be selling a sexual fantasy and the illusion of intimacy. But the rules about how intimate the contact can be between dancer and customer can change from state to state, even city to city.
Like in Minnesota, the girls can touch the guys, but the guys can't touch the girls. Figure that one out.
What does that accomplish?
You've got me.
At the Sapphire Club in Las Vegas, the rules are a little more relaxed.
They're not allowed to touch our privates at all anywhere.
But they can touch your arms and legs.
They can touch our arms
and your belly.
legs and our belly if they're careful. If they start moving up, you know, we absolutely have to move their hands away. That's a no-no. We can't do that.
How often does it happen that
It
somebody...
happens a lot.
In fact, even with our cameras rolling in a VIP skybox, one of the customers had to be warned that he was going too far.
Don't touch me. Can't touch us. We can touch you.
I've ended dances. I have told them, look, I'm sorry, if you don't stop, I'll get up and walk away, and I actually have. Keep your money, I'm gone. Well, that girl lets me do it. Okay, go get a dance from her. I don't need to do that.
Do you lose business that way?
Sure, but I'm not losing me. So.
Why are you so strict with that if other girls aren't?
We can lose our jobs, for one, not to mention the fact that, you know, respect me. I'm respecting you. Respect me, my body.
Are there times when customers aren't respectful of
Definitely.
the dancers?
Yes.
And a new trend that started in San Francisco is making it more difficult to keep it respectful. Increasingly, clubs across the country are building private booths where the dancer and the customer are alone. These booths are where dancers make the most money. But in San Francisco, the DA says it is also where the dancers are potentially the most vulnerable.
So they're working in a booth, and then the customer wants one thing or another, and they feel forced to comply.
These are the booths over here?
Yeah, these are the
Rick's Cabaret is spending $4 million to open its first gentlemen's club in New York City in June. The VIP floor will have private booths, but Eric Langan says at his clubs, privacy is just part of the fantasy.
They look private, but they're not. I mean, it's perception of privacy. There's no real privacy. We'll have people walking this floor. The waitresses come and go on a regular basis.
Are you sure that prostitution isn't happening in any of your clubs?
You know, I'm not saying that it never happens. Is it likely? No.
Because most people have the perception that it does happen in every
Right.
club. You know, somewhere if I pay somebody enough money, I can go someplace and buy sex.
They're going to have to do it really fast because there's going to be somebody coming around checking on that room, and if they get interrupted, they're going to be thrown out.
But recently in San Francisco, 9 dancers were arrested and charged with prostitution. What surprised many people was the city's DA refused to prosecute, saying she is concerned that the high stage fees and the increasing popularity of private booths may be forcing some dancers into crossing the line.
The focus is not on the moral issue of women selling their bodies for entertainment. That's not the issue that I'm most concerned with. What I am concerned with is exploitation.
Is there a certain attitude that some people have that, you know what, if you choose to go into this room and dance a sexy
Absolutely
dance
right.
and take all your clothing off, what do you think is going to happen?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But that's outrageous. You know, a woman, anybody, has a right to be able to draw the line and have that respected.
Like many working women, the dancers we spoke with will tell you any kind of respect would be appreciated. They work in a world full of scorn and moral condemnation. They have each made a choice about what is best for themselves and their families. They show up each night because it's their job.
It's different for everyone. Everybody has different motivations, they walk away with different things, and they're in it for different reasons.
I find it empowering because a lot of women can come in here and if they make goals, they know that they can make that money. You come in here and you make a couple grand and you walk out and you're just feeling so much better about yourself.
The main thing that gets me through it, I have babies at home that I need to feed, to clothe, keep a roof over their head, get the job done. And get in, get out, leave work at work, and have life at home.
Did any of these women say they eventually form relationships with any of their customers?
Romantic attachments, you mean? No. All the women we talked to said they are really approaching this in a professional way as a job. They're looking to make money, and any interest they seem to be showing is simply to get some money back from it.
And most had husbands, boyfriends. Do they, I assume they know about this. What do they say?
Many of them did, and many of them said to me that the men in their lives, their husbands or boyfriends, didn't mind what they did for a living. A few of them had come to the club to see their wives or girlfriends strip, and
it's hard to believe.
The women maintained that the men in their lives didn't mind. So, at any rate, we'll be right back.
When 2020 returns, want your smile to light up the room?
If they're white, it looks 100% better.
Would any of these popular whiteners pass our test with flying colors? See for yourself next.